Hey guys, it's Adam here. I just wanted to step in really quick before we started this episode. Myself and I believe Michael were a little sick when we recorded this, so I just want to apologize for any coughing or sniffling you hear. I did my best to get rid of those poor audio features, but unfortunately there's only so much I can do. Please just bear with me. Again, I apologize and enjoy this episode.
Okay, she looks around for any I don't know, not necessarily windows, but like entrance things that aren't just like main locked doors, like service entrances or other things that are low to the ground.
So let me give you a little lay of the land for Unseen University. Right then, Capgras dives, like swan dives into Asher.
The entire time that he is inside Asher, Asher has this face that looks like he just smelled a fart. Kind of like that discomfort, grimace.
I like it. So you guys are currently standing in front of Unseen University, which, as I said, is the premier wizarding university on the disc. It is surrounded by a wall with a single big gate in the front. Now, that gate is open. It's a public university, after all. People come and go and ask questions of the wizards. In the exact center of the entire circumference of the wall is a big wizard's tower. Like a wizard's tower that it towers above everything else in the city. It also doesn't really make any sense. Like architecturally, this thing is not sound. There are a couple smaller buildings off to the left and off to the right. No idea what those contain, but the primary building is this wizard's tower that doesn't seem like it's structurally sound or that big, but it's definitely big because there are a lot of people who always come and go from it. Inside the tower, there are scattered around a bunch of wizarding students. There are some people who are just going there to ask questions. You can tell the difference between a wizard and a non-wizard because wizards wear their hats and non-wizards obviously do not. As far as doors and windows, there is the primary door into Unseen University, which is up a few sets of stairs. And then there are windows that litter around the first floor of it. Only a couple of them would actually open, though. And given the fact that it's still kind of light outside, it would look kind of weird to see a couple kids trying to climb through a window. And there are people in the courtyard. Yeah. Shouldn't say it's impossible.
Okay. A couple questions. What is like the age of a wizard student for the most part? Are there like kids here, or is it like normal, like college aged people, or what?
Like college aged people. I mean, they're like 18 to, 30 years old.
Sure. Dang. Okay. And like they would assume that the library's in the wizard's tower, and that's all like a public place, right? Like you said, anyone can be there.
Yeah, so entering into the wizard's tower, you can walk right in.
Okay.
Getting further into, actually exploring parts of the university, you're going to have a little bit more trouble. But.
Sure. Okay, so Ella turns and looks at the other two, and she says, okay, it is okay for us to be here. So the worst thing for us to do is to try to be so sneaky that we make people notice us. So just blend in, act like you're supposed to be here. Follow me. And she starts just walking into the main entrance towards the wizard tower.
I think Dash just nods and follows. He is not the stealthy guy.
And Ash, presumably you follow too.
And Ella's also looking for any hats that may be left on the ground or on the head of a snoozing student or otherwise easy to kind of snatch.
Yes. Give me a perception check. Well, no, because you're looking for something specific, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be like investigation, wouldn't it?
Okay. 18.
Dang.
Yeah. So off to the left side, there are a group of wizards who are all playing. Well, we use that term loosely. Playing a game of footy, and a couple of them, they're playing hats versus no hats. So one side of the pitch has taken all their hats off and stacked it next to some bleachers that there are some other students sitting on and studying and watching the game.
Okay.
So there's probably like 4 or 5 hats there.
All right. She kind of walks over towards like where the game's being played, assuming that the other two follow. She looks at Dash and says, I'm going to get us these hats so people think that we'll blend in better. You ever play footy?
This is a Nathan question. What is footy?
It's soccer.
Oh.
But not quite soccer. It's like old school. I mean, like in this world, it's like old school, really rough.
Ooh,
There aren't a lot of rules soccer.
Gotcha. I probably should have been able to figure that out. I mean, I've never tried it, but I can kick things, so.
All right, you need to get in there and just get their attention for like 30 seconds. Act like you want to play, but you're like a poor kid who doesn't know how to play, and try and get them to like pity you and teach you or something.
Yikes. Okay.
Just get their attention for 30 seconds.
Get their
This
attention.
game also doesn't look like the most peaceful game. Like you definitely see people getting shoved around, and it looks like it's just like the beginnings of a fight at all times.
Okay. So I just
You'll
have
be
to-
fine. Just hop in there.
So I just have to get their attention.
I just draw them so they would not look over at these hats for 30 seconds.
All right. I can do that.
If you want to help Ash, actually, never mind. Just sit right here. Just stand right there. Don't do anything.
Yeah, Ash, stay quiet. All right, I guess Dash walks over. He wouldn't be great at the whole acting poor thing. I think he just kind of like yells, just like, "Hey, you guys are playing pretty bad. I bet I could take all of you by myself.
Oh, no.
All of you versus me. Come on." Like just taunting, just incessantly taunting.
How well does this grab their attention, though? Do they kind of like stop?
I think that probably a few of them like notice, but like they just kind of like it's just a kid. Like they're just like whatever. Like
Oh shoot, I have proficiency in athletics. I think he's gonna walk in. He's gonna walk in and just try to like steal the ball and shoot a goal, just like on any of the sides.
you guys, this is our Teen Wolf moment. I'm so
Jesus.
excited.
That's a 17 plus 2. That's a 19.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you get in there and like no one's really expecting you to come in and steal the ball, so it's unexpected, but you do it.
Yeah.
You dribble it around and you score. There are guys who on the net that you scored on who are like, "Oh, come on, kid, we're trying to play a serious game here." And there's some guys on the team that you would have scored for who are like, "Oh, let's calm down. Let's get in here. I mean, we're already playing 4v5. He would even it up, wouldn't he? I mean, he's just a kid, right? So
Yeah.
you let him in the game, right?"
I agree with that guy.
Some of the kids on the other side like look at you and they're like, "We're not holding back just because you're a little one."
I can hold my own.
All right. The guy pushes you down and then goes to the center
Awesome.
to kick off the ball again and restarts the game.
All right.
Ella's really just like waiting for a moment when it seems like everyone has like, I don't know, their attention's turned away from where she's standing with the hats. And so if at any of those points she kind of sensed that, she's going to like just grab 3 of them.
Yeah, roll a sleight of hand check for me.
You boys got proficiency in that. Oh, not a great roll though. That's a 14.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I would say that Dash is probably being pretty disruptive in that game with his 19. So yeah, I'll give it to you. You take 3 of the hats.
So she grabs 3. She quickly puts one on her head, slaps one on Ash's head too, and starts like briskly walking away from the pile and away from the game, and kind of like looking over and trying to like make eye contact with Dash to try and get him to like come along. So she's wearing one, and Ash is presumably wearing one too, and she's holding the other.
Dash, what's your like passive perception?
I have no idea. It is blank on my character sheet.
Nice.
It's 10 plus your perception modifier.
10 plus my perception modifier. Okay, well, my perception modifier is a +0, so it's just 10, I guess.
Yep.
I'm gonna actually say that you probably don't notice that she's gone, or that Ella is taking the hats and has been like trying to signal you.
Yeah.
Like this is something that has suddenly just commanded your attention.
I feel like this is maybe the first time Dash has like played sports in a group, so I can also imagine he's like getting pretty into it.
Yeah. Really excited about it. I would say just with that passive perception, if you feel like he would lose himself in that moment, I feel like it'd be a good.
Yeah, I don't think he noticed.
It'd be a good move for us to say that he doesn't notice.
I don't think he notices.
Noticing that he doesn't notice, Ella kind of nudges Ash, and she's like, "Go get him. It's time to go."
I walk over, just go straight to him, and just grab him by the collar and start dragging him away.
Dash is like, "Hey, what? I was doing really well. I already scored a goal.
Go. We're done here."
Jeez. I want a rematch when I come back. He just yells to the other boys, and I guess he goes with Ash.
Yeah, the guys are confused by it, but whatever. They're college kids. They're not worried about you kids. So yeah, all right, perfect. You guys got the hats. Is there anything else you want to try and grab while you're out here, or you feel good about going into unseen?
Is there like anything else we would need to grab?
I don't think of anything else, but also I didn't think that you'd try to grab hats. So, what do I know?
Yeah. They're going to, her thought was they could try and they would be more blending in if.
No, it's a good move.
Yeah.
Could we steal wands?
Do they use wands?
Yeah.
That is a fantastic question. I don't feel like they do.
Dang it. I feel like it's not just like the dog instinct. I feel like Dash just really wanted like a magic stick. Just like something that shoots magic out of it.
Yeah, I don't really feel like they do, especially at Unseen University. Like wizarding is very academic here. It's just the epitome of like whenever people talk about like something being, it's just extremely academic. Like,
I think they make their way there.
Also, fun fact: the official motto of Unseen University is "Nunc vides, nunc ne vides," which is "Now you see me," or "Now you see it, now you don't."
Wonderful.
The unofficial motto is "Eat a bit of pie."
What's that mean?
Eat a bit of pie.
Okay.
That was my fraternity in college.
Are there fraternities at this college?
There's just one. It's the Wizards fraternity.
I'm guessing it has a matching
It's
sorority.
never exclusive, naturally.
I mean, it's pretty exclusive. You got to get in.
You got to be a wizard.
Okay, so she's going to just, again, go with the strategy of looking like you're supposed to be there and, like, just walk into the front door of the big wizard tower and see if she can ascertain where the library might be.
Yeah. So, I mean, you walk in, it's it feels like walking into a pretty standard university building. There are corridors that go left and right, and you can even go straight ahead for a little bit. There are stairs off to your left. To the right, there don't seem to be any stairs. From what you can tell, the library is probably up a few flights of stairs. It like probably like 5 flights of stairs just up. I think she's gonna. When someone like walks by, she's gonna stop them and just say, "Excuse me, this is our first day. Can you tell us where the library is?"
The guy that you stopped kind of looks at you three, and he's like, "It's not your first day, but the library's that way." And he kind of like nods his head down the hallway to the stairs, like 6 flights up. Good luck getting in, and watch out for the librarian. He just shakes his head as he walks past you.
Thank you, fellow student.
Wonderful.
Hey, she kind of looks at Ash and says, "Capris, can you hear me?"
Yeah. Capris like responds, says, "Hey, Ash, tell Ella I can hear her."
He says yes.
Ask him if there's any like magical elevator around here.
There are stairs. It's the most magical elevator you need.
He says, stairs are the most magical thing in the world.
You idiot, isn't what I said. Add more sarcasm.
He said to add more sarcasm.
This kid is the worst.
Okay. How big are these stairs, Adam?
I mean, it's like a standard flight of stairs. Like, it's nothing unusual about it.
Like for a gnome, you
they're probably
know,
a little
it'd be
bit
pretty
big
tough,
for
right?
you, but like, yeah, they're probably a little bit big for you.
Okay. She kind of like takes a deep breath. She's like, "All right, six flights of stairs."
Ella, do you need some help?
What?
The stairs look big for you.
No, I'm fine.
Oh shit, Ash, watch this.
All right. And Dash just goes up the first flight of steps. Like, all right.
Yeah, she goes up too, but you know, obviously slowly.
I think he's just like waiting for her at the landing, like tapping his foot.
I mean, like, gnomes don't get piggyback rides from normal humans often, do they, in this world?
I mean, I don't feel like it's necessarily unusual.
I feel like it would make sense.
I think she would hate to feel dependent in that sort of way. When she gets to the landing, she's like, "What are you waiting on?"
You.
And keeps going.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so you guys make it up the stairs very slowly. I mean, it's probably nighttime by the time you guys get up to the 6th floor.
Great.
I think if they struggle too much, Ash just gets impatient and picks her up.
How would you feel about that if Ash just like picked you up and you just did it?
I think she would react very violently. How does he pick her up?
Just like under the arms.
like a grocery bag.
Yeah.
She kind of starts like flailing. She's like, "What are you doing? Put me down."
You're going too
Dash.
slow. We got to go faster. We got to pick this up.
Dash walks up the steps a little faster just to get away from the scene.
You can't just pick someone up.
You're light. Yeah, I can.
It's not a matter of whether you can't. It's not cool to just pick me up.
You have to pick your words better with him. You said you can't pick him up. You can't pick me up. He said he can. You gotta be more careful. He gets like this.
And Ash in his head just hears Capris going like, "Ash, don't put her down. Just take her all the way up."
You got it.
She kind of
Keep
like
going.
stops struggling and kind of just like lets her muscles relax. And she goes, "At least tell me next time."
I'm so sad. All right, so you guys make it up the 6 flights of stairs. Oddly enough, like these were actually like, it was like a spiral staircase, and you get to the top of it, and at like you step out into the main hallway, and you look to your right, and about halfway down the hallway, I mean all the way down the hallway, I guess, is half the distance of what it was on the first floor, is where you see these giant doors, and above it just says library.
Found it.
On the doors themselves is a white piece of paper, and it just says "ook."
It says what now?
Ook.
Like a monkey noise.
Yep. Ook. That's all it says. And there's a chain around the door. Handles. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, I don't think I speak monkey. I'm allowed to pick a language in common, and I don't think I picked monkey. I don't even think I did pick a second one. Whoops.
It looks closed.
Well, do you read monkey?
No, I don't think it's
Capgras,
monkey either.
like Ash, you feel Capgras kind of like, it almost feels like he pushed you from behind, but like he's definitely still inside you. And it says, just tell her to pick the lock. Like, how hard is that?
Hey, why don't you just try and like, can you try to like unlock it?
Oh, yeah. She's picked locks plenty of times before, so she's actually feels confident in her ability to do this, and wants the others to see that she can too. So she kind of like goes to the lock, and she looks around to see if she can see anyone or anything that might be watching.
Yeah, I mean, you feel good. Like, it seems like there's no one around. I mean, the library is closed. There's no reason why anybody would be here reasonably. I mean, maybe the librarian, but judging by the fact that it's locked from the outside.
She looks at the other two and she says, let me know if anyone's coming. And
Aye,
she
Captain.
attempts to pick the lock with her makeshift lock-picking materials that she carries with her.
What are her makeshift lock picking materials? Like, is it I can't think of what they're called. Like hairpins, or are they?
Mm-hmm. I think it's stuff like that, like trinket odds and ends sort of things that she uses to pick locks. They're certainly not like professional, like thieves kit stuff. So yeah, I think like like a bobby pin and maybe like a nail or something,
Yeah, just give me a dex roll.
Okay. Oh, that's a critical failure.
That's not a good number.
Oh no.
Oof.
Oh, I feel so bad for her.
So yeah, I mean, you're the nail and the hairband that you're using break in your hands, making this lock impossible to pick for you. And right as you do that, the lock starts to glow red, and then slowly this noise starts emanating from it, and it just sounds whoop, 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 and it starts getting louder and louder.
We need to hide.
Hey, is that part of the plan?
It's enchanted. I can't do anything with that.
Question
The answer.
is, okay, so enchanted, obviously, like with a alarm. Is it enchanted like to be strong? Like, how breakable is this chain / lock?
I mean, as far as the way it looks, up until now, it just seems like a couple pieces of iron. Now, I mean, it's entirely questionable what any of it's made of.
Yeah. And this is very unrealistic, but there's a demon possessing my best friend, so how likely would like wolf claws be to break the chain?
I'm going to say not very likely.
Okay. All right. I didn't know what kind of universe we're living in here.
Yeah, that's not
not a likely thing?
That's not a
All
very
right.
likely scenario. You do kind of notice in this moment that there's a door to your guys' left.
Yeah.
That I think you all would have to question whether you actually saw it there before or not.
The room of requirement.
But you do start to hear people coming.
I need a place to
from
hide.
the stairwell, both above and below.
Okay, yeah, she Ella at least just like instinctively ducks into that, like throws open the door and hides in that room. And I think she's expecting the others to do the same.
Yeah, I follow.
Yep.
This room, I mean, it just kind of seems like a It seems like an office space, but that is almost very generous for it. It's like a broom closet that was turned into an office for someone not very well ranked, is what you would presume at this point. There's not really anything in this room, though. If it is an office, it's not being used, or at least it's not being used very well. But as you guys are hiding in there, you see a flash of orange fur bust through the door. Like, it just seems like it breaks through the chains. It looks around, and then it comes back out. And in this moment, when it steps back out of the library, you notice that it is actually an orangutan.
Are we looking like I'm gonna ignore the monkey thing. Are we just like looking through a crack in the door, or
Probably like a window.
it's like a window in the door or something?
Yeah, there's like a little window in the door,
Okay.
and you can make out just enough through it.
All right, just so you know what's going on.
The orangutan is looking down, and then all of a sudden looks to its right, where you guys are. Presumably, is like, you guys duck down right at that exact moment. The orangutan looks back, and a couple of the other presumably professors show up and are talking and trying to figure out, like, did you see anyone? Like, one of those students trying to get into the library, and the orangutan is standing there in the middle of it and just goes ook ook ook, and goes into the library and slams the door shut. And all of the professors sort of look around and like, it was just a student trying to pull a prank or whatever, and they move on with the rest of their night.
So, I have good news and bad news. Two things of good news, actually. The first thing, I was right about it being monkey. The second thing, the chain and lock are gone. The bad news is that there's an angry orange orangutan inside of the one room we have to go in.
Ash hears Capgras say, that's not just any orangutan. That's the librarian.
What's the difference between that orangutan and other orangutans?
I don't know, Ash.
An orangutan is normally very smart. This orangutan is a former wizard that was turned into an orangutan through a couple of freak accidents. I actually didn't believe that was a thing. I thought that was just something that had been made up in the demon community to kind of make fun of the wizards out here. That's what happens when you drink a lot, when you're trying to gather information.
So, I'm assuming Ash relayed that all to the rest of us because we can't hear Capgras. Nope. Okay.
No, Ash doesn't apparently.
Okay.
Ash holds a conversation in his
So all we heard
out loud and in his head.
all we heard was what makes that orangutan different from other orangutans, and nothing else. Okay.
So yeah.
So we can get in now, but now we have to elude a big monkey.
I think it's technically an ape.
Well, let's go. What are we waiting for?
Hey, Ash, ask Copgris what exactly we're looking for, because when we get in there, we're not going to want to wander around like fools when there's a big monkey in
what
there.
are we looking for?
Okay. Here's the deal. There is a section in this library on demonology, specifically a subsection within there that talks about demon hordes. It's probably something stupid scientific like demon rankings or demon classification 101 or something like that. Where that section in the library is kind of unknowable because the library sort of exists in this third dimension. I think they call it the L space, so it's not definitive.
Oh yeah, we can't.
So what are we looking
actually
for,
gets
Ash?
information from Caprigasm and doesn't relay anything to anybody. Like, he's just satisfied. Like, oh yeah, now I know this.
So what are we looking for, Ash?
Oh, you can't hear him?
No.
No.
Oh. And then I relay all of that information.
So we have a magic ape, and we're looking for a scientific demon book. All right.
Okay, this is what we need to do. We need to have two of us distract the ape while one of us goes and finds what we need.
I feel like I'd be pretty good at distractions.
You've been so good at that so
I feel
far.
like a good idea to me. I'm going to throw that out there.
Yeah, that's true. I can try to do it alone.
I would just say that is a full-grown orangutan. Pretty big.
Yeah, I
Pretty
mean,
fast.
You can't hear him. Or we could... someone has to be able to sneak in and find the thing.
I mean,
And I imagine that monkey, if it's the librarian, knows this area, knows the library pretty well. And it's going to be hard to get in with and get around without them knowing.
I might be able to outrun the orangutan.
Ash, what do you think? Actually, never mind. I shouldn't have even asked.
You're catching on.
Okay, how about this? We're looking for... Let's just stick together. Everybody keep your eyes open. And we'll see if we can find the book. And then if that monkey sees us, we'll split up in 3 different directions. Good?
Good.
Good.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that works.
Ella, slowly creaks the door that they were staying in open. Yeah, so she, looks around, presumably doesn't see anyone. And the lock on the door is gone, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Door is wide. The door's closed, but it's unlocked. So.
All right. So she walks up to the door, kind of turns around, makes sure the others are with her, and very slowly and as quietly as she can, starts to open the door.
All right.
And peer in.
You open the door. It doesn't seem like you drew any attention. I mean, you peer in trying to find where the librarian is.
Yeah, she's looking for the monkey more than the book right now.
Yeah. You look in trying to find that piece of the puzzle, and it doesn't really seem like there's any indication. It's a very well organized library. I mean, not that you probably have much reference point for that, but there's not a lot of information to go on as to where the librarian is.
I have an idea. Dash, puts a finger over his mouth as to shh, don't say anything.
Right then, Ella says, "This library is bananas."
Dash just kind of gives her a glare.
Even Ash can't help but roll his eyes.
Dash just says don't freak out. He changes into a wolf and starts sniffing for the orangutan.
Huh.
See if you can find out where it went.
Give me a perception +3.
15 plus 3.
So yeah, you turn to a wolf, you sniff in the air. You can tell you get a really strong whiff of bananas straight ahead, which seems to be where the central desk of this library is. So I guess I should describe this library now that you're actually in it.
Yeah.
So there's a door that you guys came through. It is an exceptionally large circular room. In the exact center of it is a circular desk, which would be the main librarian's desk, and where you're getting that hint of banana. Off to the sides of that desk and basically all centering from it are stacks and stacks and stacks of shelves that are all pointing outward. So if you were to look at it from the top, it would sort of look like a clock, I guess, in a way. The walls are all lined with just a ridiculous amount of books, more books than you can ever imagine. And the ceiling is arched. And even though it doesn't seem like you should be on the exterior of this building, it's this big arched dome. There's a skylight in the middle, and surrounding it are a series of books that are being held in place with chains on the ceiling of this library.
I have a feeling that's a restricted section.
Yeah. Sorry, let me finish your perception roll.
Yeah.
So the bananas are in the main thing, and you get this strong whiff of orangutan off to your right. The problem you have in this room is that the stacks of books are honestly so large that you really can't see much like on the other side of the stacks. So you know that it is generally speaking to your right side. And you're pretty sure it's in the stacks itself and not along the exterior wall.
Gotcha. I'm just going to turn back to human and relay that to the others.
So you can just do that whenever you want, huh?
Yeah, I kind of have to do favors for this family whenever and whatever they want. But I can do that now.
Pretty useful.
I guess.
Ella like looks, for headings of like areas, like categories, sections,
So if you were moving to the left side, so knowing that the orangutan's on the right, if you were to move around this room clockwise, essentially, you what you would see as you pass by the different bookshelves is basically this numbering system that has these random assortment of letters.
Dewey Decimal System
connected to it. It's not anything that really makes sense to you.
So the Dewey Decimal System?
Yeah, for sure.
What did you say? Yeah, it's a version of the Dewey Decimal System for sure.
Yeah, then we're never going to figure it out. I guess very slowly and quietly, like, walk to the center desk and see if there's like an encyclopedia or an index or like some sort of system of looking up these numbers to whatever the categories are.
At the front desk is a little pamphlet that shows a series of it basically just gives like the reference number and what that is like correlating to. You see a bunch of different topics ranging from demonology to necromancy. There's a computing section. There's advanced physics, just like anything you could possibly imagine. Like there's a book on it here in this space. And all of them are associated with a series of numbers. You find the demonology one, and it is associated with number R or with letters R, A, and then 2, 3, 4, 8. And then there's a decimal point, and then it just kind of gives you dots after that.
Okay.
The important numbers being those first 4. Give me a stealth check to see how stealthily this was done.
Is that plus dex?
Believe so.
Okay.
Does that feel right?
That's a 3.
Yeah. Dexterity mod, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3 plus 0.
God, jeez.
You kick over all the books.
Yeah, so you get all the way to this desk. You pick up this pamphlet and you're reading through it, and suddenly in front of you, you hear this massive thud as the librarian lands on the top of the desk and just like looks at you up and down.
I think Dash
and very very inquisitively just goes, "Ook."
Dash just like smiles and waves like, "Hi, can you help me find a book?"
The librarian, he sits there, he's looking you up and down, really trying to figure out, like, are you really a wizard or not? Like, I know you're kind of taller for your age, so you definitely could pass as like a young wizard, but you're not wearing robes, but you have a hat. I think the orangutan gets kind of close to you and sort of sniffs you.
Okay.
And sits back and goes, "Ook."
Well, you look like you're closed. I'm just gonna back up toward the door slowly.
The librarian looks at you really inquisitively as you're sort of backing up and just, "Ook."
Or not?
He holds out his hand like he's expecting something.
Oh. Do I have anything in my pockets? Not about to give him the pendant. That's not happening. Right. That's straight up not happening.
I mean, would your character have like some cash on him?
Probably. He's a rich boy.
He's a rich boy.
How much gold is like assuming we're using gold, like, how much would it be expected to just
copper, silver, gold?
Okay, how much is like a fair amount to have on your person?
I mean, I feel like for you, probably like a couple, like probably 5 copper pieces.
I think he just like
Be reasonable for a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Enough to get like a snack somewhere.
I think he like holds out the 5 copper pieces and it's like, this?
And the librarian like just looks at you and just goes, "Ook," and points to the pamphlet and is like, "Ook."
Oh, wants the pamphlet back.
No.
No. God, I'm so confused.
It's asking you what book you want.
Oh shoot! I feel like an idiot. Well, it's about demons. Specifically demon hordes.
The librarian kind of gives you a side eye when you say this. Like, that's like a really weird topic, but also, you know, it's unseen university. So he gives you the benefit of the doubt here. And the orangutan, like, stands on the desk and, like, looks around the library really quick and then points to what would be, we'll say, like 1 o'clock. So if you were standing at the door, it would be the exact furthest point from you at the library is 12. And then he pointed at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And like points above the stacks and like is, you know, points towards the exterior part. And basically it's like, it's over there. Like that's
Okay.
demonology. That's where that reference number starts.
All right.
And then he ducks behind the desk and then pops back out with a banana and peels it and starts going to town and just watches you.
All right. I guess I go back there. You're like, thank you. And just,
So I'm assuming we watched this happen.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
I don't
too.
think it's seen you yet, has it?
Yeah, you guys would have seen this happen. I'm going to assume that like when it sort of came down, you guys would have jumped away and the
Hid.
librarian would have been distracted with Dash. So he definitely didn't notice you guys.
Okay.
But you guys are just ducking near the bookshelves by the door.
Do I like need to do a check to see if I find the right book or something? Like I'm in the demonology section now. What am I?
Yeah.
Like demon hordes, ranks of
give me
demons.
Let's actually call this like an intelligence roll. I feel
Okay.
like this is something that you could sort of think out. Like you see all these books in front of you that are, entitled, Rathskin's Big Book of Demons, and
All right.
Keller's
I got a 12 plus
Book of
0.
the Hunt.
I got a 12 plus 0.
12 plus 0.
Yeah.
So you narrow it down to 3 books.
Okay.
The first one is Heron's Book of Big Bad Damned Guys.
I immediately put that one back.
The second one is Tholian's Book of Demons, not of Demons.
Okay.
And then there's Icoan's. Oh, what's a good name for this? It's just called Demon. Like not even plural, like just Demon.
Okay. Well, I don't put the first one back because I just did that based off of you making the name up, but you just did that for all 3.
Yeah,
So-
I just made all 3 up. I'll give you that. Like,
Yeah. The second one sounded more planned out than the other 2. Could I just like open to the table of contents of them and see if I see anything that would maybe work?
I'm not gonna like. You didn't narrow these down just because of like the pure titles themselves. Like you opened them up a little bit and like,
Okay.
like Heron's Book of Big Bad Damn Dudes Bad Damn Guys. Man, dudes would have been better. We're gonna retcon that. Damn Dudes is better.
Okay.
So Big Bad Damn Dudes. Like you open that up and like inside is just it's lists of like demons and people who are now a part of the occult, and sort of ranking systems within those, just like hierarchies, and it gives you instructions on how to summon demons. Tholian's book O Demons, same general principle. It seems more focused on demons and not just occultist damned people, but it also doesn't seem to give as much information about summoning demons themselves. And then Icon's demon, Icoans, is that what I said?
Icoan, yeah.
Cohen's, yeah.
Icoan's demon. If you open it up, I mean, it sort of gives like this, generally speaking, anatomy of a demon. Talks about the different like types, like he's created these categories of demons and things like that, and how to summon a demon for the specific purpose that you want. He doesn't, that one in particular doesn't necessarily talk about this idea that demons work together, but the general idea of, you know, it doesn't matter what demon you summon, it's just a matter of finding one that does what you want it to do, you know, sort of thing. Do
any of them really talk about like severing connections or like banishing a demon? Any of that stuff?
I'm going to say that they all do, again, generally, just because they all talk about summoning a demon. And so all of them want to include something about like, if you ever find yourself trapped with a demon.
Could I look at Icoan's demon a little more and see if I can like figure out what kind of demon Capgris is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I need to roll, or is that just a...
You roll me like an insight. This would be insight, right? You're looking to
Yeah, I think
get
so.
information. I feel like that's reasonable.
These are all things I don't have pluses in.
Well, yeah, I guess you are looking for something specific. What's better, your insight or investigation?
They are the exact same.
Okay, it doesn't matter then. Just roll one.
I rolled. I got a 10.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it tells you, just like flipping through it, like you're obviously not doing a deep study of this because you're not trying to take too much time, but
yeah,
you
there's an angry
go through it
orangutan.
and you find out that Capgris isn't considered a, like he ranks demons into like levels of lethality. Like this is a really bad demon to be involved with. And this one, like, I mean, he's not fun, but like he's not, as far as they go, they're really not that bad. So he has a really low lethality score. He is considered a manipulative demon because he shape shifts into other beings. He seems to have he seems to have an ability to know things that he shouldn't know. Which in your case, you're inferring like he knows that you're a werewolf without you ever having actually done that. So there's there's a psychosis element to him. So you just get this like general picture that like he's just more of a nuisance demon than he is like a harbinger of evil, you know?
So he's like the malware of the demon world.
Exactly.
Okay. Does it list anything about like getting rid of those in particular?
Not in particular.
Okay.
I would say compared to these other two, Cohen's Demon was actually written a lot earlier. It's probably the oldest book of the three that you've picked up. Heron's Book of Big Bad Damn Dudes is probably the most about like people being connected in some way, shape, or form, either to a superior being or a demon of some kind. The Book O Demons is more generally speaking about like having a demon in service to you. And then Cohen's Demon is about categorizing demons and how to kind of find one that serves your purposes.
I'm going to go with the Big Bad Book of Damned Dudes, whatever that one was.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pick that one up out of the three.
Perfect. You pick it up. Do you try to walk it over to the librarian, or do you... Are you just going to try to take it over to the front door? What's your plan with it? Are you going to try to check this book out, basically?
I mean, I feel like I should. The ape hasn't wronged me in any way so far.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, I'll take it over and just be like, so do I need to like check this out, or is there like a down payment, like a deposit? I've never checked something out from here before.
He just looks at you and he holds out his hand.
Oh, this again.
And takes his hand and like puts it in his hand and like points back to you, basically just trying to indicate like, give me your hand.
I do that.
He grabs your finger. He pulls out a pin, pricks one of your fingers, and pushes it into a pad of paper in front of him. Lifts it up and looks at the blood for a second, sets it on fire, and then looks at you and just says, "Ook," and shakes his head.
So is that a no?
Ook.
Oh,
And he picks up the book, puts it on the desk, and then just sort of like tries to shoo you away.
I think.
I would say, is there a move that you feel like Ella or Ash would make here?
So what?
Or even like before, like while he was reading the books, do you feel like there's something that they would have been doing?
Ella wants to keep, like, because she is undetected, and like the monkey's attention has been on Dash. She's content to let it stay there and kind of like see what happens, you know? So she's just waiting.
Okay. So what do you feel like your move is here then, Dash?
Shoot. He's all right. So, do you want me to like take it back there and like put it back? I can do that.
He just kind of shakes his hand and like, "Ook." Like, no.
So that's okay. I think. Okay. He's like, well, thanks for your help. Sorry that kind of didn't work out. I guess I'll leave you alone. But instead of walking towards the front door, he just like walked back into the library, like looking for another way out.